Ever felt like your life is just a highlight reel of bad decisions? The wrong job, the wrong relationship, that questionable haircut from last Tuesday? We've all been there, plagued by the nagging thought, why do I keep making the wrong choices? But what if I told you that the very concept of a wrong decision is far more nuanced than we imagine, and that sometimes those perceived missteps are actually the most crucial steps we take? Let's start with the immediate sting. Why do these wrong decisions feel so wrong? It largely comes down to our psychology. First, cognitive biases. Our brains are wired with shortcuts, and while helpful, they can lead us astray. Think about loss aversion. We feel the pain of a loss twice as intensely as the pleasure of an equivalent gain. So a bad investment feels devastating, even if a good one earlier was just mildly satisfying. Then there's hindsight bias, the "I knew it all along" phenomenon. Once an outcome is known, we convince ourselves we predicted it, making past decisions seem obviously flawed. This fuels regret and self-blame. Beyond biases, our decision-making is deeply intertwined with our biology. Our limbic system, the emotional center of our brain, often acts faster than our prefrontal cortex, the seat of rational thought. Imagine a sudden urge to buy something expensive. That's your limbic system firing. While your prefrontal cortex is still weighing the pros and cons, the emotional impulse can already have you reaching for your wallet. This explains why we often make impulsive decisions we later regret. Our emotions got there first. Studies in neuroscience continually show how stress, fatigue, and even hunger can significantly impair our ability to make sound, long-term decisions. Now, let's zoom out and tackle the philosophical question: what truly defines a wrong decision? From a utilitarian perspective, a wrong decision is one that leads to negative consequences. But whose good are we measuring, and over what time frame? Consider the Stoics. They argued that we should focus only on what we can control. The outcome of a decision is often outside our control. What matters is the intention and the reasoning we used at the time. If you made the best choice with the information available, was it truly wrong if the outcome was bad? Or was it simply an unfortunate turn of events? And there's another layer that often goes unnoticed. The idea of a wrong decision is, to a large extent, a social construct. Societies define success and failure through cultural norms, economic systems, family expectations, and moral frameworks. A choice labeled as wrong in one culture, generation, or social class might be seen as brave, necessary, or even admirable in another. In that sense, many of our regrets are not judgments made by reality itself, but the invisible standards we have inherited. This is where the idea shifts. Are all wrong decisions actually wrong in the long run? History and personal experience suggest otherwise. Think of serendipity. Penicillin, sticky notes, even Viagra, all emerged from failed experiments or unintended paths. What looked like mistakes turned into breakthroughs. On a personal level, that job you hated may have taught you skills you never planned to learn. That relationship that ended badly may have clarified what you actually need from a partner. In chaos theory, tiny changes in starting conditions can lead to radically different outcomes. The same applies to life. A small, wrong choice today can redirect your entire future. The strongest argument against the idea of permanent wrong decisions is learning. Every mistake is feedback. Without friction, there is no growth. Neuroplasticity shows that the brain rewires itself through experience, especially difficult ones. When you face the consequences of a bad decision, your brain is literally adapting to become better at the next one. This is the growth mindset, seeing failure not as a verdict, but as training data. It builds resilience, realism, and self-knowledge. So how do we live with this? Slow down. Big decisions deserve time. Sleep on them. Let the emotional surge pass. Accept uncertainty. Perfect information does not exist. You are always choosing under incomplete conditions. Learn and adapt. Extract the lesson. Adjust. Move forward. Redefine wrong, not as failure, but as direction. Not as damage, but as data. So next time you feel haunted by a past decision, ask yourself, did I act reasonably with what I knew then, and what has this taught me now? Your life is not a straight line. It's a system of experiments. Some succeed, some fail, but all of them shape who you become. And maybe the real tragedy isn't making wrong decisions. Maybe it's refusing to learn from them. What's a decision you once regretted that later turned out to change your life for the better? Share it in the comments. Subscribe for more explorations into how the mind really works.